Hello there, people. Today we are going to have a look at how to a WPF application because a lot of people seems to not know you can do this, and also it don't seem to be much information about it either on YouTube at least. So this is how stock standard widgets or controls or what you will call it looks like on good old WPF. So before we go into this, I have to remember to say this. Remember to watch the video to the end, comment, like or dislike, and if you want to, you can subscribe. And you can even go into my Discord where you can recommend the video subjects, and there's a really, really high chance that I will make it. Maybe not like the day after, give me like a month, okay, because I'm a busy dude. Normally what people would do is that if you go into, let's see, if you look here, you can see here we have like a button. I'm using binding, I'm experimenting with the MVVM. You see here we have like background, border thickness, foreground, font size, vertical content alignment, and stuff like that. So if you want this here, this is the button with the plus button with the folder. It don't look that good. If you are interested, I'm making a little bit of a Node app because, well, I want to for funsies. So this is like how it looks now, and all of that is themed here. And you are kind of limited what you can do if you do it like this. And the theming is this button up here. You see, like, the hover over here is a little, it looks really, really bad. If we close this one here again, and we go in here and we can just say like on hover. Oh, there's no auto completion for that, so it must not exist though. Hover, nope. What if I told you can actually change all of that? But we have to set up some stuff a little bit. So in my project here, I tend to do a style folder. I'll call it style. So I'll make a new folder. I will call it style. Or styles if you want. If you are expected to have more. In that one, we will add a resource dictionary. And it will come out as a SAML file. But in this case, you can call it main style. I don't want that one. I have a microphone in front of my keyboard. It's a little bit hard to see. Anyway, I typically have a style sheet that works for everyone to begin with. And if I have like unique controls, like the unique window. So the window that we are going to style right now is the message box. What we could do here is that we could go in here and we can say message box style. So that means that everything that's in here is going to be like the styling we do in this file is going to only affect the message box. And we now have a resource dictionary. Boink. And this is where we can put in a lot of the stuff that we have in here. So border thickness, but we can do a lot of other stuff. And I have like kind of like templates that I use. I will showcase that to you guys in a bit. But first, I have a little cheat sheet here because I do this. So I theme WPF a lot, but how to enable them, I do that not that often. Go into app, SAML, and you see here it has like a container brackets or a section here called application. Because it's WPF, it's really verbose, we have to type in a lot of stuff. So you do open brackets, well, resource dictionary. The open brackets is again. And we need like the brackets again, and we need to find something called resource dictionary again. That is. Then we need to do a dot merge dictionary. And there could be other ways of doing it. This is how I do it. You may need source. I don't know. Like, this is how I do it, and this is how I have learned to do it. This is how it works the best. If there's other better ways of doing it, let me know and we can figure it out. Then we need more brackets, and we do resource dictionary. And of course, it's really good at auto completion. Hello, Visual Studio, do code for me. It's almost like coding for me. We need, of course, a source, and it automatically found the source message box style. And we can put that in there. And then we close the brackets. And we can also do like a main style. You can have all kind of styles and you can merge them together. Let's save everything right now. Okay, so I just caught myself in a lie. If you do it in here, it's going to be application, right? So what I would put in here would be the main. So we could actually outcome this one here. Need to actually go into this one here. And you can see here how it's built up around. And you can see I've like the context here for my view model. What we need to do in here is we actually need to bind it in here. So it's Windows resources. And then we need to do basically all the resource dictionary, blah, 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 that we did in the app file. So we need all of we actually need. And this is what I hate about WPF and copy pasting. It don't like the formatting. And again, if there's a better way of doing this, let me know. This is just how, again, I've been taught to do it. I do all the time because I typically only have one main spread or one main style because I don't have like 10,000 windows I deal with. So for me here, it just works better to just have everything in one file. It gets a little bit big sometimes. If you really want to separate your style files and all that, which you should do, separation is good, modularity is good. Well, this is what the consensus are on the interwebs that how you should do it, and I will sip some coffee here. So now technically this should be only affecting this one here. And you can see here we have, what do we actually have here? We have a text block. That's the one that's called folder name. We have an input box or text box. We have a stack panel that has two buttons that has like a OK button and it has a cancel button. Let's clean this up a little. And basically what this is going to do for us, I can showcase you guys that again. Totally forgot to show that. You see, this is just like preliminary theming to kind of get up. What I want, the logic is not there yet, but if I click this one here, you can see my window comes up. There you go. This is the message box or the window. This is not really a message box, it's a window that we're going to see. Right now, only the cancel or the close the window logic is in there, but that's not what we're going to focus on for this video here. I just made that window really fast so we could actually make this tutorial. This information video. I hate calling it tutorial. But, so let's close some windows here. That one. What else do we? That one. That one. That one. That one. We need this one. And I'm one of those people, I always have a massive amount of tabs open in my IDE, just like on my browser. So we don't need to. Also like to, if I'm focusing on something, like you see over here in the IDE. So let's say I'm focusing on doing this style right now, or if it's like I'm focusing on making a handler or whatever it is, and it's something that takes, I'm going to do this for like at least an hour or 30 minutes. I like to close everything I don't need and not have it, visible in the hierarchy and stuff like that. So only the things that I need to focus on are easy to get to. That's just a me quirk. That's just how I do it. And after this is actually straightforward. I have some templates that I can copy paste in. So we can, we don't have a label in this one, but we do have a button. So I have a template for a button here. So I tend to then have a space. I like spacing. That's just me. Need brackets again. And now we have to think like we are going to style something. So of course we're going to style. And then you can use an X key. If you're familiar with WPF, this could be like the X name. So this could be like, let's say, the OK button. So that means that the style that we are making right now, to use that, we then need to bind the button to it. If we take this away and we then just say target type, then we do button. This will affect all the buttons. So you can have a style like we're going to make right now, just a style that affects all the buttons, and then after that we can make a style just for one button. So you have like a base style that affects all the buttons. That's what we're going to do here. And I'm just going to copy paste all this mess in and format it so it looks a little bit better. Oh, it actually formatted it quite well. So you can kind of see what's going on here. To change a value, you use something called a setter. What property do you want to change the value, or what property do you want to change? Well, I want to change the background. Then what value do you want to change? And in here you can do transparent. We can also do blue if you want, or black if you want to do that. But let's just do transparent in this case. And you do that with foreground, font size, padding. So all the things you normally would have access to, as you see here, you will have access to in this style file, right? Hard to see because it's transparent. You can see it's already affecting them. So if I go in here and I say, let's make the foreground pink. Do they have that? They do. You can see now we have pink. Oink. The font size, we can change that. The cursor, when you hover over, this is a really fun one that I like to do. If we run the project again here. I know the pink may be a little bit hard to see. So you see now my cursor changed to the hand. See, you can do this. You can easily do that in, where are we? In here. Let's close the point. You looked at the normal window that's black and green, like it looks like a terminal. I don't really like that. I just did that just for funsies one day. You could also set the main window in the style file, but what I mostly like to do is I just give it a background here, and we can do like, you can do hex colors and all that, but for this case, let's just do, I think actually light gray is darker than dark gray for some fucking weird. No? Is it dim gray? Yeah, there it is. Let's use that one. It also makes the pinkiness stands out a little. And then I like to use the Azure. It just the Azure foreground. I don't know why I like using that, but it just like the white. I don't know if it's because it's a Pascal white or what it is. I just like it quite a lot. Let's go down the hierarchy. This is where it gets really, really interesting. We want to set another property, and this is a template. And this is down here where all the fun happens. We want to have a set of value. Want to have a control template. The control template is the button. This is like boilerplate code more. That's why I do a lot of copy pasting. So if you already know a little bit about WPF, you know the border. So we are putting in a border here. And then we can now manipulate the border. You know, we can temple binding background. So to see the border follows the background we set up here. So if you look right now, it says transparent. You can see there is no border until I hover over it. I think it did that. It could be hard to see. You know what? I could have it up here because this could be hot reloading. You can see there's a little bit about rounding corners and stuff like that when I hover over it. Just give me 1 second. So this should be, again, it's it's Visual Studio, it's C#, it's WPF, hot reloading don't always work, but it should work all the time. You see here the border pros is this little thing here, but you also see here content presenter, horizontal alignment center. So this is how the content inside the, like, you actually need this for the text to actually be shown in. At least that's what I have noticed in my project. Then you can do like a control template trigger. It kind of, you know, it kind of is self-explanatory. You want to control something. So in this case here, the trigger. So we do like after the border, you do control template triggers. And then you make a trigger. So we set a property up here. Now we want to do a trigger property. What is it on my mouse over? Value. True, we want it to be active. You can also have some deactive and stuff like that. Set a property. Now we're doing the same as we're doing up here. Background. Value. And this is like a code or a hex, or not hex code, like a, what's it called? Like a color code I use for another program. But what if I want like, oh, my headset just decided to die. So let's say I want like a blue color. Like, can we do a matte blue? Tomato, I never used that one. So when I hover over now, see we get like a tomato. Is it tomato? I don't know. What do we actually have for the properties in here? So even though you have this style here, these properties in here will override it. You see here in button, we don't have anything. But in text, we have some margins and width and stuff like that. Anything you set in here, you see we have a margin here. If you set a margin in the style file, what you do in the sample file here will overwrite that. So you can have like I have like a main style, and if, let's say I put in a label or whatever it is, and I only need to change the one value, it's just like, oh, in this specific unique case, we want plot red, you know, like it has to be plot red or else it don't look well. And it's only for this one element. I would just do in here foreground plot red or something. So always know that if you have anything in here, it will override what you do in the file. Tomato is not what I like, so I kind of like to go into the, we're just using built-in colors like right now. I would kind of want to do some bluish kind of thing, but it's dark slate. That's actually not bad. Let's use that one. And then we also have one here that's called is pressed true. So again, a trigger. We just did one trigger, and you can, you can put all kind of, like we can do a setter here that's a setter property. Also do border, not border pros. Why did I do border thickness 0, 0? I must have experimented with something. Border thickness value. Let's say 5, and do like a border pros of, again, a new setter. New property, border pros value Azure, and close that in. Oh, it's hard to see. Did it even work? I don't think it worked. Oh, that's not a... Yeah, I may need to... Yeah, that didn't work for some weird ass reason. It's probably because I have this here. So if I do 1, 1, 1, 1. Oh, there you go. Yeah, now it worked. Oh, it did not work. I don't know why that didn't work. I must have done something weird. But you get the idea here. You see, you can see it later down what I mean by it. You can have different setters in there. So here's another trigger. That is on press. So when you press it down, it's enabled, it's true. We set the background to transparent. So when I click this one, you can see the background goes away. Then we have another one, is enable false. So that's like if you have like an enable or disable. What we could also do here, what I sometimes like to do. So right now it does this. It removes the background. What you could also do here, what I like to do is like we do like a setter, property, foreground. And you see a lot of these values are the same as you said in the other SAML file. So let's do transparent. Let's close that in. Like the value, the foreground, well, you can set that in here, but you can't do it, you can't have triggers in there like we do here. If you see now it disappears, everything disappears. Wank, 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 wank. You can play with this, and I do like doing that. Sometimes I also do like on hover over, the text gets bigger. Then you hover down, the text gets normal. Because it gives that bounce effect that people like from mobile phones. And here it disappears. Some like this. I use it once in a while, but it's again like whatever the fuck you want, to be honest. Let's remove that one there. We actually don't need this. This is just like here, it closes the control template triggers. It closes the control template, it closes the setter.value, the setter, the style. But you can have a lot of triggers in here. You can just go and you can search Google. You can use an AI to ask what triggers can I use for a button and stuff like that. I'm actually okay with this here. I may... What if I do padding 40? That probably would not have any effects because I think we have like a... So the cancel button has a margin. You see here, now I set it to 1, so let's keep it at 40. Could even do 60. Yeah, let's do 16. For some reason, I like, for font sizes, I get really uncomfortable with uneven numbers. I don't know why. Yeah, this is a little bit better. And again, like you see here, there's like a little bit more space here. Or at least there should be. That is because this here, so that's like a 5 space. So let's say if we do 50, you can see it gets pushed even further away. Is 5 enough? What if we do 10? Ah, that's a little bit better. You can see here, I changed that in here, in the message box view. So this is the way you normally would change stuff. This is like your main SAML file, where you build up your resource, or build up your widgets or your controls and stuff. So like so you have a stack panel, and you can even theme the stack panel in here. Anything, any element you have in here, you can theme. And again, if you just go on Google, you will get like a simple template of a theme button, for example. A simple tablet for a themed text blocks or text box. They will come up with stuff like that here, and then you can just experiment. You can add a new trigger, and you can just try different properties in here and see what it has. So you can look at the Microsoft Learn page, and they will give you information about what you can set in here. If you go back in here, I don't know why this has to be a text block. Why can't it be a label? There you go. That would be content. You don't need text wrapping. This is some of the fun. some of the fun things with UI is that you build something up, you change it, that stuff happens, you don't really like, why did that happen? You see that there seems to be a little bit more space here, maybe, I don't know. Where's the margin? It has margin here on the side. The label actually don't even need to have any margin. Oh, it has in the bottom. Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's the problem. See, now it got pushed up. I actually like that a little bit better. But these things here, I could change in here. So let's actually use my target or my label template that I have. And it's basically just this. And you can see now it just changed. So I almost always change the foreground in my label, and I almost always change the font size in my label. 30 is too much though. So let's do 14, I guess. That seems about right. Should it have another a foreground? And you can also go in here and you can do like setter. Also something a lot of people probably want. Property, font, weight, value. You can do bold. See, it gets a little bold. And they have all kind of weird ones here. So extra bold, extra. They have and again here, like they don't showcase you like what it actually means. You have to kind of know that this actually sets it like that. So if you go into like me, which is one of them I like a little bit because it's a tiny little bit more bolder than normal. I just wish there was like an example. This is the normal text. This is how premium or medium looks like. Flutter do that quite a lot, for example. And also a lot of people, if they're theming a lot of elements, they will have this in like alphabetic order. But you kind of get the idea. You've already made it somewhat more beautiful. I don't want to click cancel because then we close the I kind of like this. And you can corner radius, and you can do the same as we do here, with border thickness. So what this basically means, so if I do like a 4 here, you can see that's the right side. This is the top. Oh, sorry, the first one was the left side. This is the right side, and this is the bottom. So you can go nuts. You can have part of the border in the bottom, and you can see here I actually have a little bit of a radius. So if I do this here, it may be hard to see, but it is like there's a little bit of a corner radius going on here. If you look at it like this here, it kind of looks a little bit like how they did UI back in the olden days, like before we had proper 3D animation. They will use this as indicator that this is a button. Do I have like the... So, yeah, okay, so it will probably be something like this. It will do this. Like to indicate that, oh, you can actually, this is a button. To indicate, like, and it will probably be black or something like that. Or some color that, or gray to, to highlight it as shadow. So you can make fake shadows like this, basically. But I'll just keep like that. And you could do that the same with corner radiuses. So you can have like the top left corner radius be something, the top right corner radius be another thing. You can go like experimentally hard content. If it don't work, it will give you a squiggly line and you just go back to what you did before. Well, now we have a label, we have a button, but I kind of want my cancel button to be different in just a slight little way. So I will just copy this, paste it, and I need to do a little bit of formatting, so please give me what I want. And you can see now it's complaining because we already have a button, and that's the one up there. So now we need an X key. And I will call it cancel button. There you go. Let's make that tomato red, or tomato. You see, nothing changed. Well, that's because we want to go in here, and where do we have the cancel button? We have it here. So let's put that in here, and we can do... Need to do style. I think it's static resource, and you can see cancel button. There you go, buddy. So now we have made a theme only for this one here. So it means like you can kind of see that this does something, but what would go good with a red? So maybe like a blackish background just for the fun of it. Sometimes you do mistakes. Again, I clicked too much. Tomato. Down here we want it to be black maybe. And not totally what I want. I would probably go with like even more darker. gray. I don't know if you even have that. This seems to be a more darker gray. I should have a color wheel up, but I don't. I'm too lazy. Yeah, that's, again, you get the idea. It's not perfect. I'm going to, like, when it comes to theming and front end, you are going to spend so many hours just figuring out what background you want for your button, like a cancel button when you do. That's why you typically have a design language document. Text box here looks bad. So let's have some fun with that one. And I'm just going to make it super simple. We need a new style. Style. And we only have one text box here. So if you had many and you want to change them differently, like we do with the buttons, again, you can change those. We do text button. Or target type, sorry, text box. And you can see all of the target types you can have here. Combo box index, presenter, menu items, ribbons. But we're using a text box. There. Let's just do a simple setter. And property should be background. The values should be transparent. And we're closing it off. You can see we can, well, the foreground, it don't look well. Let's do, to keep it consistent. That's basically like, a lot of UI I've noticed is, you don't have to get the colors correct, like super correct, but if it's consistent, a lot of people like consistency. Foreground, value, we have Azure, let's close it off. There you go. We could even do like height, value, 30. This is something I'm like, why is it not working? It's because I forgot to close it off. Or 30 may not be 120, 25 maybe. Oh, definitely not 24, 22. Yeah, that's a little bit better. And then we can do a setter, a property, and I think it's like vertical content alignment, value, sender. Now it looks a little bit better. And then you can do the same here, like you can border radius, you can even remove, like if you're really, 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 really funny, you can do something like this. So now we have no border, nobody knows it there. So what you could do here is then we could do, like we did dim, so let's just do gray. You could do something like this. What is it, like light gray? That's a little bit more darker. Oh, what about dark gray? This one here. You kind of get the idea here. Like I would make it a little bit. So I would make what I would do if I did this. I would have this here be in between, like the color that's probably in the middle between the background and what we already have here. But again, you get the idea here. I actually like the cancel button being tomato. What if we like fancy? We do tomato on mouse over, yoink. And we do foreground. Oh. Value. Azure. And I would also do like some, can I do padding in here? Padding don't seem to work for some fucking weird reason. So I need to do that in here in the put in here. Now I'm experimenting with you guys. I haven't done this in a long time, so I'm a little bit like yeah, it was in there we have to do. 41 is a little bit excessive. Yeah, so we need to do that in here also. Now you can see like the window is a little bit too small. So the height is 450. If we give it 470, now we need to shut everything down and reload. Because that is not dynamically allocated. Oh, I set the height in the wrong fucking place. It's in here. 60, that work? Yeah, so you can see here now I did it with 80. It's too much. Let's do 70. Yeah, I can live with that. See, now it just looks a little bit better. But you got, like, this is not perfect. You got an idea now. This kind of looks way better. It already looks way better than it did before. And again, you can make a WPF file look like it was done in Flutter. You can make it look like it was done in WinUI almost. Like, you can make it look like it's not a WPF. And to me, I like doing this. I call it professional pride when I do stuff for people. It's like if you're building a house, or like you're putting electricity into that house as an electrician, you cover up, when you build the holes, you cover up and you made the lines in the wall, you cover that up so it looks nice for the end user. They don't see the plumbing. They don't see, when you drill holes and hammered holes and build lanes and crevices and stuff. They don't see that. And for me, when you're programming, front end as a minimum should be a little bit like that. Yes, you could just use the stock standard, WPF layout, but it looks ugly as fuck. So if you are building something, give them a somewhat decent front end. It's stupid, but it makes it feel like it's better quality. They feel they get a better quality, product. If it looks nice, there's thought about the design just a tiny little. You don't even need to go this crazy like I'm doing here. Just change the fucking background and the buttons here. Just the fact that they don't look like the boring old normal buttons is enough for a lot of people to say, oh, this is actually like you really put some thought into. The last thing, however, is that you still have a problem. That is the window here. The title bar, what you will call it. It's ugly as fuck. You can change that, and you can even make it follow the Windows theme like WinUI do or Maui does. So I would showcase or tell you how to do that or whatever you will call it. So you go into Project, you go into Nugget Packages. Let it wait a little bit. Browser. Unloading. And I think it's called Darknet. Yeah, this one here. To install that one. There are any sample code. Yes, they have here. They show you some sample code. I will just show you the one how I'm doing. So you want to go into your main window CS file. And you can see I'm populating some stuff. Again, this program's just for testers. Don't get too crazy about why are you doing this in the construct and blah blah blah. It's in the it's a early prototype. So what you need to do is you need to then copy this overwrite method into your main window. You may also need to do it in the message box. I don't know. It got the dark.net. So in here, you can set it theme.dark, theme.light, auto, all of these just doozle things. So you can already see now it has like a way prettier title bar. And it did not work on the message box. And that's probably because we need to go into the message box code behind, or message box XAML.cs, log it in there on the program, and now it worked. This here is like massively way more better to look at than the default one. And I'm a terrible front-end designer. If you have like a massive amount of great design, abilities in your bones, you could make this look amazing. I've seen people do some amazing stuff. What I want, like what I probably is going to do later on is, like I said, I'm going to find the color between this one and this one here and have that as the background for the text box. And I may also round the corners of the text box. Like you see everything is rounded corners, so I'll probably find a radius that kind of follows these rounded corners here and put that in here. Anyway, hope this was a little bit interesting. Want more of this? Go on to my Discord. I have a video suggestion channel in there. I think it's called A Room. Suggest stuff in there. And it don't have to be this. It can be opinions, look into stuff, explain this and that, and I will probably make a video about it. See you all later. Bye-bye.